The Imperial War Museum is on the south side of the Thames River. It is one of a series of Imperial War museums or memorials around London. As you walk up to this magnificent building, there's a big set of cannons off two different ships off a British fleet. As you enter the main hall of the museum, there's a lot of aircraft. A British Harrier hangs from the roof, a Spitfire, and it's broken into separate sections, World War I and World War II, and there's even a section on the Holocaust.
As I walked out one morning fair, heave away, haul away, was there I met Miss Nancy Blair. We're bound for South Australia. There's just one thing that's on my mind. Heave away, haul away, that's leaving Nancy.
As you walk around, the hall is filled with exhibits of different military uniforms, weapons, and models of the warfare that went on during this period. Shut up signs, mortars, mines, different things.
We're bound for South Australia.
As you look at all this, you can't imagine how brutal World War I and World War II must have been. I've visited a lot of war memorials, and it seems like each time you go to a different one, you learn a different story on the war. This one more seen from the British side as opposed to the Australian war memorial showing you from the Australian side. It's all brilliant and educational. The more you learn, the more you get to understand what it must have been like.
South Australia, I was born. We're bound for South Australia. Haul away, you rolling king. Heave away, haul away, you'll hear me sing. We're bound for South Australia. Haul away, you
The brutality of war was evident in this exhibit.
you'll hear me sing. We're bound for South Australia. South Australia, I was born. Heave away, South Australia, bound for South Australia. South Australia, I was born. Heave away, haul away. South Australia, round Cape Horn. We're bound for South Australia.
The War Memorial contained 5 levels. I moved up to World War II and so on and kept moving. A lot of the same stuff, just more modernised. One thing that was evident was with modern warfare, the death losses were higher. Better quality equipment seemed to be the influence on this. This old German Mischerspit has seen better days. War from the air had massive tolls. The bombing was unbelievable. Also, warfare from the ocean, torpedoes, mini-subs and so on. Modernisation saw the introduction of armour to the land battle for the first time. Seems like every time I visit a war museum, it brings back a reality check of what it was taken for our ancestors to get us the life we live today. Thank you to all that served. We appreciate it. I left early in the morning and jumped on a bus and headed out towards Oxford to check out all the universities. When I got there, it was like stepping back in time. The history there was unbelievable. I couldn't get over the architecture of a lot of these old doors and the door hardware. I have a lot of photos in here of that. The amount of churches, chapels, stained glass windows, arched doorways, it was amazing. The narrow streets, the cobblestone roads, and the beautiful old buildings. So much sandstone. The family and school crests painted above the doorways immaculately lined the streets. The old cobblestone laid in, it was brilliant. The old street signs that showed history, people's names, families' names the streets are named after. Coffee shop after coffee shop, beautiful pastries, beautiful coffee. I booked a walking tour. I figured it would be the best way to see all these schools. Had a really good tour guide. We started in this Balliol College, established in 1263. The architecture was unbelievable, and the history on the schools and how many schools there are in Oxford is unbelievable. I think there's over 30 schools in Oxford. As we walked into the dining hall, I couldn't help but think of Hogwarts Castle and the similarity between how this place was laid out. From there we moved into the first chapel, and the size of the organ was unbelievable, like nothing I had ever seen. School after school, chapel after chapel, the beautiful stained glass windows, the detail in the woodwork and the ornaments was unreal. A lot of these schools were closed to the public. You had to be a student to get in there, or a faculty. In fact, some of these schools were closed to most people. Only the elite and the selected could go into some of these schools. Some of the world's greatest scholars, poets, authors have passed through the walls and halls of these schools. When my tour finished, I grabbed some lunch and found myself wandering around the streets, taking photos of doors, hardware, and different things. The door in this next picture is the door that C.S. Lewis would walk by every day, and in 1950, this door is what the Chronicles of Narnia was based on. Merton College was another one built in the 1200s, 1264. Immaculate grounds, beautiful place. I found this really interesting section of cobblestone in a circular pattern. Can't imagine how long it took them to do this, but it was pretty cool. I spent the afternoon just walking around, taking pictures of random stuff, and got some really good photos. This college, Magdalen College, probably had the most spectacular grounds. It had a quadrangle that was unbelievable, and I got some good shots through some of the old windows. They also had some deer in a yard out the back, so I went around there to see and get some photos.
it. It will give you eyes, give you hope, it'll give you perspective.
I made my way back towards the bus station to head home back into London to Kensington. This had been the end of a fantastic 7-day trip. I enjoyed all of it. Oxford was probably one of the highlights. I highly recommend getting out into the countryside if you come over here. Anyway, great trip. I enjoyed it. We'll see you all later.